14 confessions from women who cheated and don't regret it. I'm going to say that again. 14 confessions from women who cheated and don't regret it. This is the Experienced Optimist. And in this Cosmo article, we're just going to be talking about what I've talked about in past videos about how a woman can cheat on the men in their lives, not caring and justifying their actions. The byline quote for this article: cheating did not lead me to the love of my life, but it did lead me to look at my life and find happiness in myself. What this byline is saying to women readers out there that read Cosmo, that it's okay to cheat. If you cheat and you find happiness later on, hey, who cares if you leave a man's life in shambles, screw up the family structure? It doesn't matter, because ultimately you, the selfish woman, found happiness. All right, let's start with part of this article here. Now, this first one I'm going to talk about, I want you to keep this in mind, men, because this first example, it shows you that you can be the perfect boyfriend. And even though you're the perfect boyfriend, your woman will still cheat on you. Check this out. My boyfriend and I were long distance. I started feeling, remember, women are ruled by their feelings. I started feeling like I didn't need him in my life anymore, and I was happy without him. Then my ex came into town. I was out at a bar and I drunkenly asked my ex to pick me up. I stayed over and we had sex. I woke up at like 4 a.m. in complete shock and disgust with myself. I walked out of his apartment, clothes in hand and nothing but a shirt on. I wandered through the apartment complex waiting for my Uber, and I felt like my life had never been so in shambles. Since that night, get this, guys, I have been so grateful for my boyfriend, and I have a deeper understanding and appreciation for him. If I never cheated on him, I didn't think our relationship would have survived. It opened my eyes to how much I loved him. Now, translation, this is complete bullshit on her part. She wanted some anonymous cock. She went out and she got it. She realized that he was a good sucker. Most likely he did a lot of things for her. And she didn't want to lose him because she didn't want to be alone and she didn't want to deal with the dating game. And ultimately she was being selfish. But this just goes to show you can be doing everything right in a relationship and your woman will still seek someone else. Because it's not about you. It's because she can't be content with what she has. All right, moving on. Let me see, number 4 here. I had an on-again, off-again relationship through high school that ended when I went to college. Fast forward 3 years later, I was dating a wonderful guy. The conversation was lovely. We were both interested in the same types of music. Had fantastic date nights and a great sex life. I'm going to stop right here because this is just another example of what happens when you can have the perfect relationship with a woman and ultimately she doesn't care. Your game could be on point. Your body could be good. You may have the 6-pack abs, cut like a diamond. You're making money. You're doing everything right. And the woman will still not be satisfied. Let's continue on. For a few moments, I thought he could be the one. One afternoon, walking to the library to study, I literally ran into my high school ex. You see where this is going? He ended up walking me to the library and sharing a table where we had a non-stop catching up session. It was late when we finally walked back to the dorms, and he invited me up to keep catching up. As soon as the door shut, sparks were flying and we ended up on the floor, clothes in every direction. I broke up with my then boyfriend. Remember, the perfect boyfriend that was doing everything correct. I broke up with my then boyfriend the next day. And my high school sweetheart, we're getting married in 4 months. Check that out. The guy's doing everything right. Sex, what did she say? Conversation was lovely. We were both interested in the same types of music, had fantastic date nights, and a great sex life. And I want to focus on the great sex life. And the reason why I want to do that is because so many men think that if they dick a girl down real good, you have an orgasm 50 times every time you fuck her, that she's going to stay in your life. This is a falsity. A lot of guys think if you're just this alpha male guy, she'll stay in your life. Another falsity. A woman goes where her emotions tell her to go. She felt something for this ex-boyfriend. He charged up her emotions somehow, and now she's off with that guy. Ultimately, I think the boyfriend that she ditched, he's lucky. Because just imagine if he would have married her, and then she'd have ran into the ex later on. She would have divorced him, took all his shit, and then he would have been fucked. This is why MGTOW is so important. With MGTOW, what would have happened to this guy? He would have pumped and dumped, moved on to the next girl, and he would have been all right. Okay, it's back to the article. Number 8. Let's see here. The guy cheated on. Get this, guys. Oh, actually, that's not the right one. Let me move down to the right one here. I just started dating this guy from work, and this new girl got hired right around the same time. She made it clear she was interested, but I had never been with a girl before, and I was supposed to be dating this guy. He told me he didn't want anyone to know that we were dating. Red flag, I know. And as time went on, he was an increasingly crappier human. Just because he didn't want anyone to know that they were dating, all of a sudden he's a crappy human being. Maybe he wants to keep it on the low. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, one day I ended up spitefully, get this, spitefully, because women will do this a lot. They'll hook up with someone just to get back at another person. One day I ended up spitefully hooking up with this girl in my car, and after I broke up with him, we ended up dating and have been living together for almost 2 years. What a way to find out you like women too. And I can't, when it comes to stuff like this, again, I mean, he probably didn't know she was bisexual, but I'm going to say this again in this video. If you're dealing with a bisexual chick, leave her alone. Bisexual chicks are bad news, and I have nothing against gay people. You know what I mean? I have nothing against gay people, but from my experience, bisexual women are all over the place and not trustworthy. Okay, number 9. I actually cheated on my current fiance about 2 years ago. We broke up and I began a relationship with the other guy. My fiance and I obviously got back together, and as much as I hate that I hurt him so much, I can say with 100% certainty that I'm marrying the man I should be with. I think I needed to get that last idea out of my head, otherwise I'd be living the rest of my life with a what if, which is absolutely no way to go into a marriage. I still feel like a pretty bad person for doing it, and I regret hurting my fiance. But get this, guys, I don't regret getting it out of my system. So basically, she doesn't regret hurting her fiance. Women will use doublespeak like this all the time. They will say, I feel bad. I still love him. You know, I still care about him. But then I don't regret, sucking 5 cocks. I don't regret sleeping with the whole football team. I don't regret. And that's the problem. problem is that women will do these type of things, and then men will. I know I had an issue thinking that a woman would do something like this. Like a woman would have to get something out of her system. I never thought that women were like that. I thought women were stronger when it came to their emotions and their feelings, and that they wouldn't get swayed if they loved the guy that they were with. Obviously, I'm older now, and I know that this is not true. I just thought that was a fucked up story, man. All right, number 11. I was in an emotionally abusive and destructive relationship with a man, Brad, who I was convinced was the one. The reason why she was in this destructive relationship, like I always say about women, women love self-destruction and self-sabotage. And they mistake that the feelings they get when they're sabotaging their life for love. And that's why they always hook up with these bad boys. We shared an apartment with some of the close friends, and over a year or so I became very close with one of them, Ryan, strictly as friends at first. It never even crossed my mind that it would turn into something else. But over time I started to realize how happy I was with Ryan and how miserable I was in a relationship with Brad. I knew I needed to break up with Brad, but every time we would talk about it, it would become a disaster of screaming and crying and threats and begging to come back together until I would cave. Eventually, Ryan and I crossed the line. I think I needed the push to really end things with Brad. I'm going to stop it right here because I know this is bullshit. The reason why she'd ended with Brad is because she wasn't sure that Ryan was a sure thing yet. Once Ryan became a sure thing, that's when she figured, well, I'm just going to kick Brad to the curb and get with Ryan. I think I needed that push to really end things with Brad. It wasn't the way Ryan deserved to have me come into his life, but it's the way it worked out. 4 years after all that mess, and Ryan and I are engaged. Man, that poor son of a bitch. Oh man. I've never been this happy, and I know that even if it's not the way I dreamed of finding my husband, it was the way it had to happen to get me past that destruction and in a better place. See, this is a perfect example of how women use other men to save them from their shitty decisions. When she first got with Brad, she knew that he was a shitty person, but he turned her on. You know, he sparked those emotions that she became addicted to. Right? He aided in her self-destruction, which attracted her. But then when she found out that he was fucking up her life more than she really wanted, she craved even more chaos. So she said, "You know what? I'm gonna screw Ryan and basically leapfrog to him," because she knew that it would cause more chaos, and ultimately it would aid in her self-destructive patterns. And that's why she did it. And now what's going to happen now she's married to Ryan, she's going to find a way to continue to screw up the relationship somehow. And Ryan is like the white knight that came in and saved her, but he doesn't know what he's getting into. What's going to happen is she's either going to screw up Ryan mentally, right? I know she's probably going to end up cheating on him, because as we all know, women don't respect white knights. And Ryan, his life is going to be fucked up, unfortunately, because this woman, she's just going to continue to fuck her life up, and as a result, fuck his life up. All right, last one. 13. Cheating was the best decision I've ever made. Cheating was the best decision I've ever made. I learned a lot about myself and who I was as a person. Get this, guys. I wound up hurting someone I loved and respected very much, and I can never forgive myself for that. But in the end, it was the best decision I've ever made. See, there's always a caveat with women. They always like to say, you know, I love and respected the person, but ultimately, it was the best decision for me. It always comes back full circle to them. My boyfriend and I ended our relationship, but I stayed with the person I cheated with. In time, I realized it was never the second guy I wanted. Eventually, I came to terms with the fact that neither he nor my ex-boyfriend was what I wanted. I could never make him or anyone happy because I wasn't happy myself. And this is key here. A lot of women are never happy. They're never happy. So no matter what they do, they could cheat, they could buy a whole bunch of stuff, they can buy jewelry, go on shopping sprees. They'll still never be happy. And that's why they always fuck their life up. Cheating did not lead me to the love of my life or to someone better, but it did lead me to look at my life and find happiness in myself and on my own and in my own life. Something that I was not able to do before. I relied heavily on the validation of men and based happiness on men. I am now single and could not be happier. I wish I had done things differently, but finding true happiness within myself has given my life so much joy. Something that I would have never been able to find within either relationship. See, what she's doing is, and here's the thing with women, I'm not buying it because I feel that a lot of women, they don't grow. They follow like a particular script in their life, and they keep on playing that certain script, or they keep on just, I say a program. It's not a script but a program. They keep on living by a certain program, and they never really change up. I find that men are better suited for that. And I think that in this case, when she said that she relied heavily on the validation of men and based happiness on men, that's what men do with women. We rely heavily on the validation of women and base our happiness on women. And when we're MGTOW, we go our own way. We no longer do that. And that's why we're happier. Now, in this example, she said she was happier when she stopped looking for validation from men. And as MGTOW, that's what we need to do with women. We need to find true happiness within ourselves. And that starts with us. I know that once I stopped chasing validation from women, which was extremely difficult, it still is, a lot of things improved for me. Because no matter what you do to make a girl happy, it's never enough. There's always more you can do. You can always look better in a suit. You can always speak more languages to try to impress her. You can always learn more business acumen to try to impress her, to make her think that you're like an entrepreneur, which ultimately doesn't work anyway. And if she is impressed, then she won't be impressed maybe a month from now or a year from now. It's like seeking validation from women. It's like pouring water into a leaky bucket. You can never fill it up. And there's never enough validation to satisfy you as a man. But anyway, I'm rambling on. That was the last example in the article. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, share with other men, This is not about race, color, or creed. As men, we're all going through it. I recently found this article about men in Russia and having to deal with Russian women who are highly materialistic and self-centered and narcissistic. So this is happening in all over the globe. So as men, I think we need to really buckle down and help other men. Stop fighting each other. Stop giving in to racism and all this ideological, bullshit. It's just not needed. But that's it, guys. I'll talk to you later.